Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Test Code Automate. So this is my 13th video for the Playwright with TypeScript series. In this video, I would be covering hooks in Playwright. So let's start. So there are different hooks in Playwright like before each, after each, before all and after all. Okay, so before proceeding further, let me show you the configuration file and the test script file which we are going to use for this particular video to understand this hooks concept. Okay, so into this configuration file, I have kept this fully parallel to false. So for you, it would be easy to understand that when a particular test block or the hook block is getting executed, right? And here I'm going to execute this particular script onto the Chromium browser only. Okay, so let's go on to the test script file. So here I have created this particular test script file where I've created different test blocks. Okay, so the 7 different test blocks I have created. Okay, and inside which we are just console logging the starting and ending right part, and we are just opening the link in between, and then we are console logging the title, right? So similar thing which we are doing for the every block, right? Starting it with the console log, opening the link, console logging the title, and console logging the ending, right? And three see first, second, third block and the seventh block I have kept outside the describe test.describe grouping, and the fourth, fifth, and sixth, see these one fourth, fifth, and sixth test blocks which are there into this test.describe, right? We have already understood about this test.describe into my previous video, which is test annotations in Playwright. So if you have not watched that video, I would recommend you to watch the video. I will provide the link of the video into the description. Okay, so now let's start with this before each, right? So before each hook is going to get executed before each test, right, which are there into your test script. Okay, and the syntax to write the hooks are kind of like this, right? Test, then you need to put the hook name. Here we are going to use the before each. Okay, and then you need to pass the parameter. So two ways you can use it. Like first one is that directly you can give the anonymous function, and inside this anonymous function you can write your code, right, whichever you want to use into the before each. And the second way is to use the title also, test dot before each, then first parameter would be the title, which is optional, right? And the second would be the anonymous function, right? Usually I prefer to put the title so it would be easy for you to kind of understand it or look it into the report also, right? So you will get to know which hook got executed with the title, right? But it is up to you. So now let's start with this before each thing. So test, and this is the syntax, right, which you need to write. Test dot before each, right? Before each, and then let's put the title here. Practice of before each, right? Any meaningful title you can give, right? We are, for now we are just practicing, so I'm giving it like this, and comma, and then anonymous function. So same way, right, which we use it into this test blocks, right? Async, and then round brackets, then arrow symbol equals to greater than, and then curly brackets, right? And then here you can write your code. For now we are just console log the thing, right, that we are into the before each block, right? So executing before each. Okay, so now let me start the execution. So through this command I will execute the script npx playwright test, which is used, this npx playwright test is used to execute the script which are there into our test directory, which is tests, right? And then if we give the specific name, so it is only going to execute the specific test script file, right? So for now we have given hooks practice.spec.ts. Okay, now hit enter. So now what is going to happen, our test script is going to get executed, and this before each is going to get executed before all the tests which are there into this particular test script file, right? So there are 7 different test blocks which are there. 4 are outside any describe block, and 3 are inside the describe block. But for all the tests, for all the 7 tests, it is going to execute before each, right? Before each of the test. See here into the console log also, you would be able to see 7 tests got executed using one worker, as we have kept the fully parallel to false, right? So only one worker is going to work for now. And see, before each test, right? So for this is for first test, right? Practice test 1. So before starting it, first it executed this before each block, right? This one, where we have console log this executing before each block. See, same thing you are able to see here. And then the first test, right? Start practice test 1. The title is printed through this particular line, and the ending practice test 1, right? And the same thing happened for each of the test case or the test script which is there into the describe block, right? See, for the second one also same thing happened. Before each got executed, then that particular test got executed. And okay, and into the report also you would be able to see the same. So see, these 4 are outside the describe block, and here if you will see, before, inside the before hook, you would be able to see this practice of before each, the title which we have given, right? So this same title would be appearing here. If you will not give the title, this title will not appear, only this before each thing will appear, right? That so that's why I would recommend you to put the title. And here into the console log also, see, for before each block you would be able to see. Let's look for this test block inside the describe, which is practice test 4. So see, here also you would be able to see this before each got executed, right? Console log also you can see first before each got executed, and then that particular test got executed. So it happened for each and every test case which are there into the test script file. So we can also put this particular describe block with this before each, right? So let me remove this before each from here. So let's consider that we want to execute our before each just for the tests which are there into the describe block. Okay, so what you can do, like you have put these test blocks into the describe block, right? See these 3 tests which we have put into the describe block. This is the describe block, test.describe. Okay, the title and the anonymous function. So here we can put the before each also. Test.beforeEach, same syntax, right? The title and then anonymous function. So what we are telling Playwright just to execute this before each for each of the tests which are there into the describe grouping thing, right? So let's start the execution. Let me terminate the support and again execute the same command, npx playwright test and the file name. So we have removed that before each, right, onto the for the whole test script level, but for the describe level we are just executing the script. So see, here into the console log also, for the first, second, third, it did not get executed. For the 7th also you would not be able to see this console log executing before each block, but for the 4th, 5th and 6th script it got executed. See, for the 4th one, this executing before each block. For the 5th also it happened. First it executed this before each block, then the test block it executed, and for the 6th also it happened, right? So whatever the tests which were there into the describe block got executed this before each thing, or before each of the test it got executed, right? That would be the correct sentence. Okay, so let me show it into you into the report also. See, for these tests you would not be able to see that before each thing, right? Because it is not inside the describe block, but for the describe block tests you would be able to see that practice of before each, right? Before each block which got executed. Okay, let me close the report. So yeah, we have understood this before each concept. Now let's go on to this after each thing. So like the before each was getting executed before each of the test, after each is going to get executed after each of the test, right? So now let me remove this before each from here and let's use this afterEach. At any location you can write it, right? There is no specific position where you need to put it, so let's put it here this time. So same syntax, test dot afterEach, and then we can put the title, or let's not use the title for this time. So I will show you how it will look into the report, right? And directly anonymous function you can use. For now we need not to pass any fixture because we are just console logging things. Okay, arrow symbol and then curly brackets, and here let's console dot log, and we can put the console log like executing after each. Okay, so now what is going to happen? We have put it outside any block, right? Directly we have put it inside the test script. So this after each is going to get executed after each test block. So for us, the 7 test blocks which are there, so after each of the test block, this after each will get executed. Okay, now let me start the execution and we Playwright test finally. So after all the 7 tests, you would be able to see this after each line, right? After each code will get executed. So for now we are just console logging, so you would be able to see the console log, but here you can put any specific code, right, which is applicable for your project. Okay, so see the execution is happening, and see here into the console log, after each of the test you would be able to see that after each block got executed. See console log executing this after each, right? Same console log which we have given. So it has happened for all the tests. First the test got executed, and after that after each block got executed, right, for all that 7 tests. And in the similar way we have did it for the describe block, right? For the before each, we can do it for the for this after each also. Just put it inside the describe block at any position, right? So it would be applicable for all the tests which are there into the describe block. So right, for us 4th, 5th and 6th tests which are there into the describe block. So after these 4th, 5th and 6th test, this after each block is going to get executed. Okay, let me start the execution again. So yeah, now you would be able to see the same thing, right? Only for the 4th, 5th and 6th block this after each thing got executed. So see here after hook, and here if you will see this after each hook got executed. Here we have not given any title, so that's why I mean into the report also you would not be able to see the title. You would be able to just see the hook name after each hook, right? And it got executed only for the test cases which were there into the describe block. See if I will open it for this 1st, 2nd, 3rd or 7th test, so inside this after hook you would not be able to see that after each hook, right? And same for the console log also, you can see here it did not got executed because we have put it inside the describe block. So that's why it got executed for those tests only which are there into the describe block. Okay, let me close these reports. Okay, so that's it for this after each. Now we can go into this before all. So here you would be able to see this before all is getting executed before all the tests, right? So there are 7 tests which are there into our test script. So only once it is going to get executed before all the tests, right? Into which are there into the test script. Let me remove this after each from here. Okay, and let's put this test dot before all, right? At any position you can put it, and then you can put the title practice of before all, right? And then anonymous function you need to put, which should be async round brackets, then arrow equals to greater than arrow symbol, which is and then curly brackets, and inside it you can write the code. So now we are just console logging the thing. So let's run the script. So npx playwright test and the same script name, and once I hit enter, so now what is going to happen, this before all is going to get executed before all the tests which are there into the particular test script file, right? So see here, once the execution will get finished, so see it got finished, and first this particular first test block got executed, right? And before that block, this before all got executed, right? This particular hook got executed. Okay, and then one by one all the tests will get executed, but our hook got this before all got hook got executed only once, right? Before starting the test execution for other test blocks. After that you would not be able to see the same, right? And here also into the report, let me show it to you. Just this one. Yeah, so see into the report, before first block it got executed. See practice of before all, right? Console log also you would be able to see executing before all, but after that you would not be able to see it got executed for any of the test blocks. See for test block 3, if you will check, see there is no before all it got executed, there is no console log also, right? And the we can also put this before all inside the describe block, right? Let me cut it. Okay, and if we put it inside the before, inside this describe block, so now it is going to be applicable only for the tests which are there into this describe block, right? So our this before all is a hook is going to get executed before all the test scripts which are there into this describe block. Okay, let me run the script again. So for our case, only for before all these fourth, fifth, and sixth block, this before each, before all is going to get executed, right? So see, execution got completed, and here if you will see, for the before the first, second, third, it did not get executed, right? But for the for this describe block, fourth, fifth, and sixth were there. So before the fourth test block, this before all hook got executed, right? So it got applied for the tests which are there into the describe block only, right? And the same thing you would be able to see into the HTML report, right? So before this fourth block it got executed, right? We saw it into the console log. So see here, if you will go, see practice of before all got executed with this practice test 4. Before the practice test 4 you can consider, right? And the same you would be able to see the console log, but after that you would not be able to see with any of the block, right? So yeah, that's it for the before all. Now let's go on to the after all. So into the after all hook is going to get executed after all the tests, right? And it is going to get executed once per worker. So for us only one worker, only for the one worker we are executing the script. So let's use this after all. So syntax is same, test dot after all. I'm just replacing it after all. After all, and the console log the after all. We have just changed the title and the console log thing, and here we are using test dot after all, right? And let's first put it outside the describe block at the test label, right? At any place you can put it, test dot after all, the title, and the anonymous function where we can write the code, right? And let me start the execution. So now what is going to happen, this after all hook is going to get executed after all the tests block into into that particular test script. So after all these 7 test blocks, this particular after all hook will get executed, right? So see the execution is happening, and at the end you would be able to see, once all the test block got executed, you would be able to see this after all thing, right? So see our 7 tests got executed, and after that this after all is getting executed. F for the 7th block also. Let me correct the console log, otherwise you will get confused. Okay, so and the same thing you would be able to see into the report which got generated. So these 7 blocks got executed, and after this 7th block, see, or we would be able to see that after hook which we given, right? Practice of afterall. So after this, after executing all the seven block, this afterall is getting executed, right? And in the similar way, we can use this afterall inside the describe block. So it is going to be applicable only for the tasks which are going to be there into the describe block. Okay, let me quickly execute the script and show it to you. Let me close the old reports. Okay, so now what will happen? This after all will get executed after all the tasks which are there, right, into the describe block. So after executing fourth, fifth, and sixth block, we would be able to see this. See, after executing this fourth, fifth, and sixth, this after all hook got executed. Okay, and the same thing you would be able to see into the report after executing this sixth test block. See here into the report, you would be able to see this practice of after all hook, right, which we executed with this title. Okay, so yeah, that's it for this after all. Also, one more thing which I wanted to tell you, right, we also read it into this document, right? So this after all and before all hook gets executed after all the test or before all the tests once per worker, right? So before all hooks will get executed before all the tests, but also once per worker, right? And same is the case for the after all. It is also going to be applicable only once per worker. So for us, we have just put this thing, right, fully parallel to false. So that's why for us only one worker was working. So see here, you would be able to see. But if we make it true, right, and here with the workers, for the local execution, I've given the count as 2. So for me now, the parallel execution is going to happen with the 2 workers. Okay, so let me put this before all and after all. Okay, after all and before all also we can put. Let me replace this after all with the before all. Console also we can replace. So now what we are doing, we are executing 2 hooks. One is the after all and the second one is the before all, right? 2 hooks which we are executing. Okay, and we are running the tests into the parallel with the 2 workers, right? Till now we have just executed it with 1 worker only. So what definition which we read, right? Now the execution should happen once per worker. So now these after all and before all hooks should get executed 2 times, right? After all will get executed 2 times and before all will get executed 2 times, because we are using 2 workers and this is going to happen once per worker, right? So for the 2 workers, it should have, I mean, it should get executed 2 times, both the hooks. Let's run it. So npx playwright test, the script name. Okay, and the same thing, see, executing before all, but now it is getting executed 2 times because for us 2 workers are working, right? So just remember it, right? If into the interview also, if someone is asking that mean what if there are 5 workers, so in that case your after all will get executed 5 times and before all is going to get executed 5 times. So in your project also use it wisely, right? If you are doing the parallel execution, so remember it that these hooks will get executed for each worker. Okay, and see, after all also you would be able to see the 2 times, right? Here it got executed and for the second worker also it got executed. For now you would not be able to see the specific order, because why? Because we are using this parallel execution. So at the same time it is going to execute multiple test cases, right? So for now, see, it is happening with the 2 workers only. Okay, so I think I have covered most of the items. And one more thing, if you put, let's say if you put 5 before each inside your test script, so those before each block will get executed in order of the registration, right? So let's say you use this first before each test dot before each. Okay, and then here you would be putting your anonymous function, right? Let me put it quickly. Okay, arrow symbol. Yeah, so let's say if you have put this before each or the after each or any of the hook into multiple times, right? You are using 5 before each, right? So now how it is going to get executed? So first it is going to get executed in the order through which you have registered, right? So top to bottom, right? First, then second, then this third one will get executed, then fourth one will get executed, right? If the multiple uh, same type of blocks or same type of hooks which are there, right? So yeah, it should be known to you. So that's why I've mentioned you. You can also, I mean, hit and try it at your end, that how it is getting executed, right? Try to give the different before each block, different after each block, and see it, right, in which order it is getting executed. So it is going to be the same order, right, in which you are writing or registering those hooks. Okay. Now, yeah, I've already covered all the topics, but I just wanted to give you one more example for the hooks. So see, I've prepared one more script which is cart verification test. So here what we are doing, I've created two different tests which are there. So into the first test, what I am doing, I'm going on to the saucedemo.com. Okay, and then I'm logging in. See, in the first test, I'm logging in into the application. Okay, and then I'm adding some items to the cart using this one. See here with this script, I'm again not writing the whole script just to save the time, and just wanted to focus on to this a specific concept of hooks only. So right, we have already understood it, right, how we need to create the test block, import the test block, create the test block, and how we need to create the locator and perform different action on it. So that's I mean, these things we have already discussed, so that's why I'm not recreating the script. I've already created the script for your understanding, right? And see here we are just adding the items into the cart. Okay, then we are going into the cart, and then we are just removing it, right? So this is the code for that one. Okay, adding and removing item from the cart, and then we are logging out of the application, right? So this is the first test. And then into the second test, what we are doing, we are again logging in into the application. So again we have written this same code to log in into the application. You hit this URL, open, enter username, password, login, click on login. Then we are just going after logging in, what we are doing, we are checking this particular cart is empty or not, and then again we have written the code to log out, right? So this is kind of redundant code, right? For the maintenance purpose also, let's say if any changes which happen into your locator, right, or into any of the property, so you'll have to correct it at so many places. So here we have taken the example of only 2 tests, but let's say if you, for you 50 tests which are there, so for each test, I mean, it would be kind of very difficult for you to update the script, right? So that's why in that case what we can do, we can put this login and log out into our hooks. So we can put this login because we want to log in before each of the test, right? Our test script is getting executed, so we can put it inside the before each block, right? For now, let's put it test dot before each, right? And here let's directly use the anonymous function without the title async. And here previously we have not used any page fixture, but here we will have to use it as we want to log in into the application, right? We will have to use this page fixture. Okay, and then arrow symbol. Okay, and then you can put this login here, login code. To format the code, you can press the Alt Shift F, so automatically your formatting will happen. Okay, and let me remove this login from the second test also. And log out we can put after each, right? Because after each test we want to log out from the application. So let's put it like this: test dot after each. Okay, and then anonymous function equals to greater than curly brackets, and see logout code. I've put it here. And now also you need to put the page fixture, right? Because here we are using the page, right, inside the hook also. And let's remove this logout from this test also. So now into the test block, we have just kept the different actions which we were going to perform, right? We have removed this login and logout functionality into the hooks, login into the before each and logout into the after each, right? And let me start the execution. So npx playwright test, and this time we are going to execute this file. So let me copy the name here. Oops, sorry. Copy the name and let me paste it here. So npx playwright test and then this file name, right? Card verification test .spec.ts. And so see here what is going to happen. This before each is the login thing which is going to get executed before each of this test. Okay, and the same thing for the after each, this logout thing is going to get performed, right? See, now we are able to see our two tests got passed, right? Although we have used the hook, so for each test the login happened, this test got executed where we were adding item into the cart and removing it, and then logout happened. And then for the second test also, this before each got executed where this login happened, then it checked for the empty cart that it is valid, I mean it is empty or not, and then again it got logged out, right? So this is one example which I wanted to give you just for your better understanding. It is not necessary that you would be using it with the login thing, right? But yeah, as per your project you can configure it accordingly. You can use the hooks, right? And similar way you can, let's say if you want to log in one time only before your all the tests, and then you want to log out after all of your tests, right? And same action if you want to perform, right? You logged in before starting your test execution, and then you perform this adding item to the cart and removing the cart. Then you started with the second test where you check the shopping cart is empty or not, and then you are logging out. So in that case you don't want to perform login before each test, right? In that case you want to perform it login before all the tests, right? So let's use it like this: login before all. Okay, same code we are going to use, and here you are going to use login the logout after all, right? So after all the tests which are getting executed, if you need to perform after all, or you need to perform logout, then you can use it with the after all, right? So in this case, I mean this is just an example. It is not necessary, right? You would be logging in before all the tests and logging out or after all the tests. But I'm just giving you an example for your understanding, so that in that case you would be able to use this before all and after all, right? Let me run the script. It will get failed. I will tell you why. So see here, it started the execution, all right, but it will get failed. Why? Because see here you are able to see the error, right? Error: context and page fixture are not supported into the before all, since they are created on the pre-test spaces, right? If you would like to reuse the single page between tests, create a context manually with the browser. Okay, and then this browser dot new context. And if you would like to configure your page before each test, do that into the before each hook instead. Okay, so that's why, I mean, we got the error, right? We cannot use this page fixture into this before all and to the before all, right? So in that case what you'll have to do, let's remove this page fixture. Okay, and what we will do, we will use this browser. Let me use this browser. Okay, and what you can do, let's create one variable. So to create the variable in JavaScript, what you can do, you need to put the let, which will create a variable with and its value we can change, right? Let, and the page is the variable name, which is of page type. Okay, so see here it automatically got imported from the Playwright, this page thing. Okay, so we have created a variable page of page type. After colon we need to mention the type. Okay, and here what we are going to do, we are going to use this page, right, which we have created, page, and inside this what we are going to put, browser. Okay, dot new page. Okay, and this is going to be the await thing. Okay, because this new page is going to return the promise, right? About this we have already discussed into my one of the video, right? Async await video. And so see what we are doing, we are using this page, we have created this browser fixture, and we are using this browser fixture to create the new page, because this before all is not going to support this page fixture, right? And then here we are logging into the application, and let's remove this page fixture, right? Because we are going to use this page which we have created, and this value which we have put inside the before all for all the test, and for all the after all thing which we are going to do, right? So let's remove the page, and let's execute it after this. Okay, so now let me again execute the script. So this time we should not get any error, because we are now not using that page fixture, right? We are just creating this browser fixture, and then inside this before all, and then we are executing this script, right? So let the execution happen. So see, we are able to see the two paths, right? We have not got that specific error which we got previously for this before all, that context and the page fixture are not supported into the before all, right? So that's why we have used this browser fixture, and through using this we have created this new page, and this page we are using for all our tests, right? And also for this after all also we are using the same page to log out from the application, right? So you I mean, this is just the example which I have given you, that how you can use the before all and after all, right? But it depends, right? If in your project what are all after all condition which are there, or the before all condition which are there, where you want to use this particular hooks concept, right? There may be the case it is not applicable for your project, then you need not to use this hook, right? So it depends, right? It is not necessary that if I mean, if we are discussing it, then you'll have to use it there only. Okay, so yeah, that's it for this particular uh, topic. Let me give you the quick recap. So see here, we have understood about the hooks into the playwright. So there are four different types of hook, which are before each, after each, before all, and after all hook. Okay, and this is the syntax: test dot hook name, and then you need to put the title and the anonymous function which you need to put. Okay, and then see these are all the points which we have already discussed. This before each, for the before each hook that is executed before each test. Okay, and when called in the scope of a test file, right? So it runs before each test in the file, right? That we already discussed, right? And if we put it inside the describe block, then it is going to run before each of the test into that particular describe group, right? Okay, and if we put the multiple before each hook, okay, then they will run in the order of registration. This also we discussed, right? Okay, now coming on to the after each. So after each we discussed, right? It runs after each test. Okay, and if we put it inside the test file, then it is going to run after each test. Okay, and if we put it inside the describe group, so it is going to run after each test in that particular describe group. Okay, and if you put the multiple after each block, so they will run in the order of their registration, right? Now this before all, so for the before all also we discussed that it runs before all the tests and once per worker, right? So if there are three workers which are going to be there, it is going to get executed three times. Okay, and if we call it onto the test file label, then it will run for all the tests which are there in the file. Okay, before all the test. Okay, and if we put it inside the describe block, so it is going to get executed before all the tests in that particular describe group. Okay, and if you put the multiple before all, so they will run in the order of the registration. The same thing is going to get applicable for the after all also. So after all will get executed for all the after all the tests. Okay, if you put it onto the test file label, so it will be applicable for all the tests, right? After all the tests it will get executed, and if you put it inside the test describe, so it will get executed after all the tests inside the describe group. Okay, and if you use these multiple after all blocks, so they will run in the order of their registration, right? So these are all the points which we discussed, right? and we have used these two scripts to give you the different example, right? The login example I have given you, that how you can use it. And this we have also learned, right, that these with this before all, you would not be able to use the page fixture if you are using at any points. In that case, you'll have to use this browser fixture, right? Here the error also you can read it, so you will in the interviews also, I mean, there may be one question, right? If you want to use the before all with the page fixture, so is it possible or not? So yeah, it should be known to you. So yeah, that's it from my end for this particular video. Stay tuned for my upcoming videos. If you have any comments, question, doubts, you can let me know into the comment section below. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. Have a great day.